my Married at First Sight Australia fans, welcome back to the channel, and I got a little bit of tea for you guys with Jacqui from over at season 12 of Married at First Sight Australia. Yeah, that Jacqui, the one that's coupled up with Ryan. Well, she decided to speak her truth. She went rogue. She's giving tea on Ryan, the production team, the other castmates, and even some interesting stuff on Marina as well. So sit back, get something to drink, get some snacks, and yeah, enjoy, cause she's about to spill it all.
To the neck, but now I'm choking like bing bop boom 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 bop bam, 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 bing bop boom boom bing bop boom boom.
Okay, this one needs a video for sure. Well, basically, as you know, people go on these shows to become influencers, and to become influencers, you need to get limelight and camera time, or what they call airtime. So I suspect that there were some cast members that were motivated by wanting to be the instigators in the group, and they wanted to be the ones to call out drama and to start drama and to be really reactive to drama. In contrast to me, I kind of just dismissed drama. I shut it down. I put the lid on things. I didn't care. I was like, this is pathetic. Like, you guys are just reacting over nothing. And I'd kind of be like, it wasn't anything, right? So I'd just kind of be like, what the hell? That's why I think they started it, and they also probably got pushed by producers into doing it. I don't know why they did it. I wasn't there. But everything is pushed, right? Like, the producers are sitting there every day with us trying to tell us to do stuff. I would say I was pretty disappointed that I was put with a man who was clearly casted for drama purposes. Like, it was very clear that Ryan was going to make great TV, and I was like, fuck. So there was a part of me that was pretty mad about that. But then there was also a part of me that was like, well, maybe it could work. Like, just because he's a bit of a knob and an idiot and, you know, all of this stuff, like, why can't it work, you know? So I was actually trying to make it work with Ryan. I was trying really fucking hard, but I was also trying to put myself first and be like, well, I need to enforce my standards. I needed to keep putting my boundaries out there. I also hated the drama, so I'd always be setting my boundaries in private, like with one-on-one chats with Ryan, with the cameras there, obviously, not like private, but as in, I didn't like airing our dirty laundry at dinner parties, and so I just shut down at dinner parties. I shut down on the commitment ceremony couches because I hated the group trying to insert themselves in our relationship. So I basically just organized and like managed our relationship with Ryan and I one-on-one, and the cameras there. Surprisingly, watching the episodes is not as hard as actually being in the circus filming. It is probably 10 times better now. It is difficult to watch though, because it makes no sense to me, because what I experienced was a very different reality to what everyone's seeing on TV. Obviously you only see 1% of what's going on, and it's all being cut up and chopped and changed, and words have been put in my mouth. Oh my God, the amount of times that somebody has put the words, "there is no one on my level," in my mouth, I'm like, I fucking never said that. Like, I literally am one of those people that wakes up every morning and says we're all equal. All men were created equal. I'm like a Martin Luther King fan, and every time that pops up, it just triggers me so much, because I'm like, literally to my core, I believe all humans are equal. And I think they must have taken that clip from some audio where I said something along the lines of, nobody works as like late as me, or no one reads as many fucking books as me, there's no one on my level, you know, and it's just been taken out of context. It's horrible to watch. So I'm not an editor, obviously. I don't really think there's this such thing as a good edit and a bad edit. I think what they do is they go off storylines. Like, ultimately, you got to think of, like, this is a drama production. They're trying to tell a story to the viewers, the audience. They want to hook you on for the next episode. So personally, I think they're actually editing it to try and create stories, and often they try and dramatize up the story. So say there's a cheating scandal, of course they're going to make it sound worse than it actually was, because they want it to sound like the most exciting cheating scandal ever. And if you just happen to be the, like, you know, the Sierra and the Adrian, you're just going to look like bad people because you got involved in this. And then they're going to make Billy and Athena look like victims. And they'll so-called get a good edit. I just don't think that it really matters what kind of person you are. I think it's just the stories that you get involved in. Yes, absolutely. I'm happier today. And in fact, I'd do the experience all over again if it meant getting to where I am today. My life is better than before I started the show, and honestly, I have no regrets about doing it. Obviously, I wish things had gone differently, and I still am hoping things will get better for me, but I would do it all again, and I guess the happiness now compensates for the sadness I've had to go through. We get really good food at the dinner party. It's really healthy. There's always 2 options for meat. There was either like chicken and fish or something. It was really tasty, and then lots of vegetables, like a side salad, and there were always bread rolls. And oh my God, the funniest thing is there's a limit on the alcohol. They'd always bring out like 2 jugs of red and 2 jugs of white, and everyone at our series loved red wine, so we'd always run out of red wine, and there was this mad race when everyone sat down at the dinner table to like fight over the fucking red wine. So sometimes you'll see people like this series and they don't have any red wine in their glass and no one's drinking the white, because there was this whole like dynamic going on of like who gets red wine, and like people would scoff, like, because they actually limit you off alcohol, so they wouldn't bring out more, so people would like fight over who would get the red wine. And then if you missed out on red wine, it was kind of like really, it felt like bullying sometimes. It was so dumb. But yeah, that's a fun fact about the wine. I think this is a question for Jeff. If I was to guess, at the time I suspected they were doing it for drama and attention and limelight. Obviously, the show is a bunch of influencers wanting attention and wanting to become something for themselves. And a lot of people do that, have a strategy going into the show by being like an instigator. And so you'd walk into these dinner parties and people would just start yelling at you and accusing you of shit, like throwing mud at a wall and seeing what stuck. And so as you saw, like a footsie situation can become a cheating scandal. And so it was just constant, like no matter what you were doing, you'd like look to the side and someone would be like, don't you dare be so disrespectful and not look at me when I'm speaking to you. How dare you? And they make this huge thing out of like nothing. It was constantly like that on the show. So honestly, at the time when this happened, I was like, well, I'm not even surprised he's doing this, because they're fucking done about everything, and that's what Ryan does to me every day. So I'm just like, at this point, I'm like rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, like guys. There were a bunch of really mean situations on the show. There's already been 2. I think the first one was definitely the dinner party number 2, where everyone came and attacked me about my sex life. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't think that was very nice behavior. It wasn't kind. It wasn't sensitive. It was breaking girl code in my opinion, and I didn't feel like sharing my sex life with the entire fucking Australia. And yeah, I felt like that was really mean, like really fucking mean of the girls. And I felt like I only had like one supporter that night, which was kind of Dave, and everyone else was just grilling me and being really horrible about it and not respecting my privacy. And also accusing me of lying about my sex life, when the issue isn't that I'm lying. The issue is that my husband was fucking exposing and humiliating me. So that was pretty mean. And then the second one was last night at the wedding, Intruder wedding, where you saw it go down, getting accused of sending a sneaky text, which wasn't true. Oh, that is so lovely. Thank you. I really hope I make you proud. There's so much pressure on me writing now, and it's all out of my control. Fingers crossed things turn around for us. Thank you. No, I don't regret doing it, because I end up in a better position than when I started. So I would, if I could go back, I'd still do it, knowing where I end up now. If I wasn't going to get what I got out of the show, then I wouldn't have done it. Yes, this is true, and I am a victim of this. Every time I'm like, it's not even just frankenbiting. It's actually like I genuinely don't wish harm to production companies or anything. It's just that they've got to create a storyline, and when things are filmed over the period of like a week, you've only got half an hour to show the story of what's going on. So they actually do have to chop up sentences and shit, because the audience can't sit there watching us for a week. Like, you guys only get half an hour, so they have to chop up and get the key moments. So like a part of it is purposeful to just tell the story succinctly. And I have actually noticed, like last week, for example, there was a lot of editing that actually made my storyline make more sense to me than when I was actually in it. I was like, oh, they did me a fucking service there, like editing it like that, because now I actually make sense. But a lot of the times as well, they do make my character sound absolutely nuts, and it's not cool. No, this is not true. They are just a little bit salty about how everything unfolds down the line. Our friends all got along. They were all socializing. Like literally our tables crossed over. The wedding got extended because it was going so well and everyone was talking. There was so much drama coming up. There were so many moments cut from our wedding that should have actually made TV because they're actually really interesting and more exciting than anything else on screen that you were seeing that week. They just didn't have time for it to be. It's not the Ryan and Jacqui show. There's actually 10 other couples or 12 other couples. It's not about just Ryan and I. But no, my friends were not rude at all. Oh my God, this is the funniest question. If I had $1 for every time someone thought my crying was fake, I would be a millionaire right now. But no, if I could fake cry, I would totally be an actor. That would be a good way to make money, right? No, I can't fake cry. I wish I could. If I could fake cry, I'd definitely be an actor because I feel like that would be a really valuable skill set to be an actor. But also like, apparently my acting sucks according to the audience. I don't know. I fucking don't know. Like, yeah, like people saying they can't see tears, but like when you cry, it's not like a fucking cartoon. You don't have big teardrops dropping down your face. Like when you cry, like there's half the time there's mascara on my face. Like literally, I kid you not, later on in the series, there becomes a point where I'm crying so much, they have to stop filming. They can't film me anymore because I'm just constantly crying. They're like, Jacqui, you're just crying. I'm a crybaby. I cry all the time. I was fucking crying this morning and I cried yesterday. Like I just cry a lot. That's it. So I tried on white wedding dresses first and I started crying and I felt really sad because I was like, this sucks. Like I am getting married and I don't know who I'm getting married with and they're a stranger and I feel like like, you know how Katie said she feels like a fraud? I felt like the same. I was like, it sucks that my wedding day is with someone I don't know and it's on TV. Like it felt really cheap and so I didn't want it to feel like my actual wedding. I knew it was a TV wedding. So I was like, how can I make this more fun? Let's wear a different colored dress so it doesn't feel so real. And so wearing blue was actually a way to like not make it feel like a real wedding, to make it feel more like a TV wedding and also just distance myself from like the seriousness of a marriage and just be like, this is just for TV. It's like not a real wedding and the real wedding I will wear white for. Thank you. I'd love to think I am too. Thank you. It's very kind. I would love to think I am too. Abby has not yet invited me on, so I cannot go on a podcast I haven't been invited onto. Marina is not a psycho. She's a feminist and she is a strong feminist. She stands up for women's rights. The reasons why she was getting upset were completely reasonable. She was matched with a man who was still married, not open to love with her. He was complaining that she was too old, and I heard it all. I was at the fucking commitment ceremony couches. They've edited it all out. They want Tony to look like the good guy. I feel bad for Marina because the group were acting like school children around her. She was like our mother and no one was listening to her. I felt like she was trying to take charge a lot of the time and tell people and put them in our place. There's a lot of bad characters on our series and a lot of people like minimize really serious harm that should not be minimized. Marina is the kind of person who I would absolutely want to be like when I'm older. I hope I build the strength of Marina. She's an absolutely gorgeous person inside out and genuinely, she's not psycho at all. She speaks the truth. Yes, they force you to talk about yourself. Obviously, this is a dating show where they ask you fucking a million questions, like backstories took days, like literally days. But you have to answer questions like, what's the worst thing someone's ever said about you? And your reply is going to say something like, I'm fat, or I'm ugly, or I'm too much to handle. So a lot of the stuff on camera that you're getting is actually responses to questions that were very specific and taken out of context. So when my backstory says stuff like, I'm too ambitious, I'm too much to handle, that's in response to questions of like, what some of the negative criticisms you've ever received. Equally, if I've said like, oh, like, actually, no, this is like, but not only that, they also cut your sentences, right? So if people are like, why would anyone want to date you? I might say, I don't know, maybe they think I'm hot. They can edit that to the, like, I think I'm hot. So, like, I don't fucking think I'm that hot. Like, I'm just an average girl, but they can change it. It's a surprise. The only thing we know is what they showed at reunion, and my reunion went pretty well for me. But they've even cut out what they showed at reunion So either there's a plot twist coming, or maybe, like, I don't know. Honestly, it's literally, I have no idea what's on here tonight. Only the media know. Okay, tuning in tonight to watch Clint and Lauren get married. We love both of them. They're both really truthful and funny individuals. They do not get sucked into the drama. And honestly, both of them are some of my favorite characters on the show. So we love both of them. And yeah, I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Oh my god, this is so funny. No, Ryan did not fart. So when the experts say something, I go, If you listen, you'll hear me going, It's me going like, yeah, it's my Kiwi accent that sounds like a fucking fart. That's the truth. He did not fart. So the house AP is appointed by Endemol, which is the production company. So basically they are the person who's living in the apartments with us when all the producers go home for the end of the night. The house AP stays on duty and makes sure that we're all safe. So they're kind of appointed for a duty of care perspective, but they're also just checking on us and also making sure we don't leave our apartments. Like, we're locked in these apartments. Is lockdown. Like, you know, COVID lockdown, it is worse than COVID lockdown because we're not allowed to leave our apartments at all without their permission. So they are guarding the corridors. They want to know where you are at every point over the 3 months. Like, it is beyond COVID. It's like you can't leave without telling them anything. They text you all through the day. They come into your apartments at random times. They check on you. They keep you safe. Also, if you're having issues, like, there were times where I was struggling in my relationship, I'd run into the house AP and like cry to them. Like, they're a person of safety and protection as well. Okay, so personally, I don't think I'm autistic. I've never been diagnosed. Maybe I'm autistic. Maybe I'm just undiagnosed. I don't fucking know. But honestly, there's a lot of trolls out there and a lot of people just want clicks, right? So if they label you as something, they're going to get more clicks. It's like all the outlets want to label you as like beauty queen, rages. It's like it would be boring if it was like girl upset over man being a douche. Like, no one's going to click on that. When they hear like autistic girl, like, people are just going to click on it. So it's just for attention and likes. It's the era we live in. It's unfortunate, but what are we going to do about it? People are just mean. That is so nice. Thank you for everyone who sticks up to me. Sometimes I'm like deleting troll comments and then one of my fans will like troll the troll and I'm like, yeah, go, you go. And then I just leave the troll because I'm like, yeah, the fucking troll is getting trolled. Like, this is hilarious. No, but karma is real, and thank you for anyone who sticks up to me. I do appreciate you. And I think, like, at the end of the day, kindness is free. Why spread hate when you can spread love and just say like things like, shame on you for hating on a girl. Like, we're in 2025. Why do you have to hate on girls? Like, just go, like, cheer on people, you know? You don't have to be a bitch about things. Just be kind, give people the benefit of the doubt, and let people be their real selves. And, you know, the truth will come out eventually. The truth always does. And we'll see who's laughing at the end. Like, spread love and kindness, not war. This is a really great question. So Ryan and I actually got one of the biggest apartments, and Marina and Tony got the biggest. Lauren and Elliot were entitled to the biggest, but they never showed up, and Karina and Paul got a big one too. But the three of us got the biggest ones. I personally think, like, Ryan and I had a 2-bedroom apartment, and I thought it was because we were fighting. We were anticipated to fight a lot, so we might need our own space. Like, there were definitely times where I would just retreat to my own room and do my own thing and cry by myself. It's so fucking sad. But then there were couples, like, that were getting along that got given a studio apartment with no bedrooms. So, like, Ree and Jeff had literally, like, a box. They had no rooms. It was just a studio. They had to have their kitchen next to their bed. And I thought that was purposely to create drama. But I'm not a producer. I actually don't know. That was just my educated guess. Okay, so I never heard Ryan call himself a warrior to me, but I kid you not, every single day, that man would call himself a man. Like, at the end of every sentence, he'd be like, you're disrespecting me as a man. And I'd be like, why the fuck do you always have to add this, like, as a man thing? I kid you not. The end of the series, I was pissed with laughter every time I was on the couch because he would always talk about being a man. So please look out for it. He literally says it in all of his sentences. He always says, like, as a man, I would blah, 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 and he goes on, as a man. It was the same, not only in his language, he always talked about being, like, a man, but also he talked about his beard as if it was his identity. Like, he couldn't imagine himself without his beard because it made him more of a man. Yeah. You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. Who knows? We just have to get to know the real Jacqui. So all I can say is watch this space.